Can a person be found guilty of a crime they say they don't remember? Handcuffed.
What is going on?
Fingerprinted.
What just happened?
Embarrassed.
Just pajamas.
Jail.
Put into a holding cell with other women. It was pretty frightening.
No clue she caused chaos.
Just missed about 4 people. She's driving all over the road here.
My life was at risk.
Oh, she just missed it. Somebody.
I was witnessing it because something was evidently wrong.
The car just jumping out in front of me, blowing through a stop sign.
She needs not to be driving because she's going to kill somebody.
I was scared, I was nervous.
All of this at the noon hour around Wolverine and Northland near Rockford. The out-of-control driving ended at the Walgreens pharmacy in Plainfield Township. She was in line to get some medicine when deputies arrived to ask her what's going on. The deputy's dash cam shows she couldn't recite the alphabet.
The alphabet letter E to letter B.
She failed sobriety test after sobriety test, could barely get up from the bumper of a car, and couldn't stand up straight either. Yet another driver intoxicated case. There's the arrest. People were relieved.
I wanted to make sure that this individual was off the road.
I was in jail. I'm being convicted of a crime. I didn't do anything illegal.
Meet Kathleen Bailey, that intoxicated driver.
I had been so sick. I hadn't left the house. I hadn't had a shower in 2 days.
Kathleen's story perhaps is a bit different than others charged with the same crime. At the time this happened, she was battling the stomach flu that November 2015 night. The next morning, she didn't have the strength to stay up.
I then took an Ambien to get some sleep, and the next thing I know, I'm being fingerprinted.
That's right, Kathleen says she doesn't remember driving at all.
I literally do not know what happened.
But wait a second, her eyes were open, she's talking during the traffic stop, she was able to get somewhat dressed, open the door, get her dog into the vehicle, leave her garage, and she was really asleep the whole time? Turns out Bailey had no alcohol in her system. She blames this pill for causing the situation.
The drug is very dangerous. Look what it did to me, and I have no idea, I have no recollection of any of this.
Bailey started taking the sleep aid Ambien 10 years ago as she recovered from breast cancer treatments and had never had a reaction like this one. She is a nurse, a single mother of a special needs son. She has no criminal record, no current traffic violations.
Oh, she just missed it. Somebody.
The reckless driving, albeit dangerous, didn't hurt anybody and didn't cause any damage. Her attorney asked the prosecutor to drop the case.
Why would I have to fight for my freedom if I took a medication that was prescribed by my doctor, and this is a medical thing? This is not a criminal thing.
Why do you think they're going after you?
I honestly don't know. I don't know.
Are you scared about this?
Yeah, I am. I'm scared that I'm going to be convicted of a crime that I didn't do.
Just after our interview, Bailey found out she was going to be tried. Her attorney, Ed Sternisha, prepared to use a sleep driving defense similar to one used by Robert F. Kennedy's daughter, Carrie Kennedy, in New York in 2014.
And then I have no memory until I was stopped at a traffic light and a police officer was at my car door.
She told police she may have taken the powerful sleep aid Ambien.
Kennedy was found not guilty for driving under the influence of Ambien in a hit-and-run incident. Would a jury in Kent County make the same decision? After all, it is a drug that is known by the U.S. government to cause people to do things they don't remember.
Miss Bailey is here because she didn't take it responsibly. Miss Bailey is here because she knew how Ambien was supposed to be taken. And Miss Bailey is here because the manufacturer and the pharmacist and the doctors give you this warning. If you take the drug, this is what can happen.
Prosecutor Alex Grimes told a jury of 3 men and 3 women he just had to prove by Michigan law she was driving under the influence of a controlled substance, something that really isn't in question. The biggest question, though, was whether she was asleep during the driving. The law excuses a person who is legally insane during the commission of a crime.
Help her wake up from this entire nightmare with that not guilty verdict.
The prosecutor's expert from the Michigan State Police Lab in Lansing testified Bailey had an additional muscle relaxer and antidepressant in her system, as well as the Ambien. An expert witness hired by the defense, though, said the focus should be strictly on the sleep aid and what it did to Bailey.
Because while that's going on, the person isn't fully awake. Now, again, it's called sleep driving, and obviously everybody's seen the video. She's not what we call asleep. Her eyes are open. She's interacting with the environment. The problem is the higher functions of the brain, where our judgment comes from, are not working well. They're only working a little bit.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give?
Bailey decided to take the witness stand.
Please have a seat.
Well, when I woke up, I realized I had no bra on.
You didn't have a bra on?
No,
You normally go out
No.
to the pharmacy without a bra on?
No.
In pajamas?
no.
She testified she never abused Ambien and always took it as prescribed before her bedtime.
I call this a nightmare at the beginning.
Yes.
You fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
You woke up in jail,
Yes.
and now you're sitting here in the court being charged. Is it a nightmare?
It is.
But should this nurse have known better, known that taking Ambien late in the morning when she's usually up, even though she was very sick, could have that impact, could create that zombie? The warnings are certainly out there. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration created a huge website just for Ambien and the dangers when it's taken.
You're going to take a drug. You're responsible for what happens to you.
Or was this a case of a person who had no idea what she was getting herself into by following her doctor's orders?
She had no intent to drive a car.
It was in the hands of the jury for only 2 hours, the moment of truth.
We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Kathleen Bailey, guilty.
Guilty. A woman who had maintained her innocence for close to a year, found responsible for operating while intoxicated. A juror told us after the case he just didn't believe she was sleep driving. For Bailey, a driving suspension, a big fine, possible jail time, and a hit on her perfect criminal record. Her attorney left open the possibility of an appeal.
They prosecuted her because she had a medical reaction that they didn't understand. We're punishing the patient, not the people who are putting this drug out there.
Now tomorrow at 6, we're taking a closer look at Ambien. We'll have the drug maker's response to Bailey's case. Prosecutor Grimes chose not to do an interview with us until after sentencing. Bailey, by the way, threw out the rest of her Ambien and no longer takes the medication. More than a dozen people wrote to us in the last 24 hours telling us about their experience while on Ambien. From unknowingly eating and sleeping, to driving to work in their PJs, to unknowingly attempting to commit suicide. In Kathleen Bailey's case, she nearly caused several accidents while allegedly sleeping and driving after taking an Ambien pill. Ultimately, she was arrested, charged, and convicted of operating while intoxicated.
The drug is very dangerous. Look what it did to me, and I have no idea, I have no recollection of any of this.
Ambien has been on the market since its approval in the U.S. in 1992. The company that makes the drug, Sanofi Aventis, says Ambien's provided 20 years of use and 24 billion nights of patient therapy worldwide. But Bailey's attorney, Ed Sternisha, made a strong statement why it shouldn't exist.
And it puts everybody at risk because we don't know how they're going to react. We don't know what's going to happen to them. And we punish the person, the patient. We're punishing the patient, not the people who are putting this drug out there.
The psychiatrist hired by Sternisha to testify that he thought Bailey was sleep driving had some interesting thoughts on the drug. He prescribes it to his patients.
So I think in the right situation, it's a great medication. It has a use, and it's very helpful for some patients. I don't always find it the most effective medicine for beyond a few weeks for people. I would not say take it off the market because there are many similar medications that can have some of the same effects. It's just a matter of people being informed before they take the medicine and knowingly taking a risk.
Sanofi Aventis released a statement to us regarding Bailey's case. Quote, Sanofi is committed to patient health and safety and treats Ambien reports with the highest degree of importance. Sanofi stands behind the robust clinical data that have demonstrated the safety and efficacy of Ambien. Okay, so most important, every expert we've talked with this medication has told us users need to read the warnings, read them. Limit other medications as well with it, and make sure you can sleep for 8 hours for this. Bailey will be sentenced, by the way, here in a couple of weeks. Now, we'd love to hear from you. If you would like to give us some feedback or want the 13 Watchdog team to investigate a story, certainly email us at watchdog@wzzm13.com.